everyone, Nordic Beast here, and welcome to the Shipyard. So today, actually, I have a temporary shipyard. Well, more of a hangar, rather. It's actually a pre-NID server hangar I had saved that the NID server is based on, and it's just a placeholder for the new hangar slash shipyard I want to build, which I'll get to that in a moment. So the ship I am sitting on at the moment, this is the Glorious, which is actually based on a ship that was on the that was on the workshop. It took me a minute to remember what it was called. Called the Salvador. That was a really highly detailed but all vanilla parted ship, but it used different build stages of parts in order to put it together. I liked it, but I didn't like that part of it because then you couldn't build it on a server to be able to use, because then you would have to sit there and grind down each individual part, so on and so forth. Anyway, this is supposed to be like an exploration ship. It has enough guns for defense. It has a rocket launcher on the front to, also help defend itself. I believe it has 2 cargo containers, 1 large reactor, and 2 jump drives, and it runs on all large thrusters. And I absolutely love this thing. It's actually much smaller than the Salvador. It's similar layout, but that's pretty much where, similar layout and architecture, but that's pretty much where it ends. There are no internal similarities whatsoever. Well, we'll scratch that. The hangar is a little similar, but that's about it. So, but with this, I have an idea for a series I really want to try, like a semi-role-playing series, using this as like the main ship. And I would like to get like 1 or 2 regular people for it, and then possibly other people that would be interested in like occasionally being in an episode when possible. Easily being able to write people in or out for a story. I want to do exploration. Now that they've added pirates as of last Thursday, the drone pirates, and there's plenty of derelict ships out there to find and space stations and things. You can also find different mods that change those, so you can find different things that you'd want. I can also build my own pirates if I wanted, which I might actually do now that I think of it. And then, like I said, same thing with exploration. You can find different exploration mods for what ships are out there and things. So, yeah, I would like to try that in the future, and especially with planets around the corner. Eventually, that could be the destination, to find a planet. So, yeah, something that's kind of, it's on the back burner, but I don't want it to be. I would like it to be something sooner. It's just my schedule is so bad because by the time I get home in my time zone, it's 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning most nights. So, in fact, tonight it's 10 o'clock because it's my day off, and so I'm actually on here kind of early. But most other nights, yeah, I'm not here till super late, and most people are already asleep. I have some people that I know that are up this late, but doesn't necessarily mean they would want to do this, or they'd be interested in space engineers or anything like that. So, I just don't know yet. Oop. So, yeah, hopefully I can do something with that idea and with this ship. So, well, moving on real quick. Come into the hangar here, which, by the way, so the hangar as a placeholder, the idea is I am going to build a much bigger shipyard with a much larger hangar than what's even right there. I saw somebody's hangar recently that was just huge, these massive doors, and I loved the idea of it. So I think I'm going to make a much bigger hangar at some point. And then also my shipyard I've been on like the last 6 months or so, the docking arms for it are just not quite big enough. I mean, the Glorious just barely fits in there, and I mean just barely. And I mean, the Glorious isn't even that big a ship. It's a large ship, but it's not that big. So I'm gonna need a bigger shipyard. So I'll probably build here. So, all right. Next up, I decided to dust off all my mods and bring out a Valkyrie. So this one's just more or less pieced together. I added it so that it's oxygen capable. You see the pipe right there. I haven't put modded weapons on it yet, but I will. And it still has the Sage thrusters, which haven't been updated yet for the increased thrust, and I kind of like it. It may not be 100% balanced that way, but the reason I like it is this thing doesn't accelerate from 0 to its full speed immediately like it does with the industrial-sized azimuth thrusters. It literally, from 0 to 108 meters per second, instantly. Like, it just boom. And I fear that the Sage thrusters would do the same thing. This is almost 30,000 kilograms, I believe. And it accelerates from 0 to max speed in almost 3 seconds. So it's still fast as hell, but, you know, not instantly to its max speed. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get this back to its former glory, try to get modded weapons on here and everything, which I have in here, I just haven't worked on it yet. So this is about as far as I've gotten. So a couple of mods I wanted to show off right quick. This one here, which is a closing cockpit, I fucking love this. This should be part of the vanilla game, right here. I know it's a very small thing to add, but I think that's epic. It adds so much detail. That, and you can actually see into the cockpit, so you can see your character in there while flying, which I think is pretty sweet. The only thing about this is it's... let's see. It is 2 separate pieces. And because it's 2 separate pieces, like here, we got the cockpit base, and then I think if I open it, cockpit base, even still, nothing? Alright, well then, we'll just have to grab the actual part. Yeah, here we go. So cockpit base, and then the cockpit glass. Which, the glass doesn't have a lot of parts in it, but it still does have quite a few parts, which does make this about 500 kilograms heavier than the base cockpit. But I like it so much, it's worth the extra weight. And I mean, just look at how good that looks on my Blackbird. I mean, and you can color the 2 parts separately. So you get really cool color schemes like that. Look at that. That's awesome. So, and along with that is the enhanced cockpit, which this one, if you notice, there's a light in there. There's also LCD screens, like actual usable LCD screens. And then along with that, you can see into it. So the LCD screens, you can tell because you notice like some minor clipping of a block here. You add those, and it adds those screens in there. And I think that is also very, very awesome. I would love to see these 2 cockpit mods come together and then be in the vanilla game. That would be like, you know, chocolate and peanut butter making Reese's Pieces. I mean, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, oh, real quick, by the way, this is the Orion. This is a light transport I made, actually for the Glorious. But since it doesn't have landing gear, it came loose in the Glorious's hangar and bounced around and blew up and stuff and caused lots of damage. So even though it's small enough to actually fit in the hangar and carry people and cargo, because it has a medium cargo container, it broke loose and destroyed a lot of things. But the ship itself I actually like quite a bit. It's slow going. It's 10,000 kilograms with only 4 small thrusters, so it does accelerate pretty slow. But it still gets you to where you're going, and in a very compact size. Whew. Pardon me. So yeah, I really like this ship. It turned out quite well. I spent way too much time on the aesthetics. So alright, well, last thing I've been working on. So these are all ships that I consider official ships, like ships that are really part of my fighter fleet. And something I forgot that this one's battery powered, right? Yes, it is. Okay. So just something offhand I was thinking of from earlier. But this here is the Lightning. This ship is based on the same rules the Sparrowhawk that I submitted to the fighter mid-weekly build thing runs on, and that's the main thing was the 4 4 Gatling cannons and 2 rocket launchers were part of the rules. You could have up to 2 rocket launchers. Well, I wanted to make a small compact fighter that used 2 reloadable rocket launchers instead of the vanilla ones. They're just the regular ones, and still be usable. And I came up with this, and I love this ship. I mean, it accelerates quite well. It takes one hell of a beating. I like the aesthetics of it too. And the only thing I don't like is how spread out the cannons are. And this is my B model. The original model, actually, the 2 cannons were mounted under the wings in 2 groups of 2. And I didn't like how it looked. This I like aesthetically better. So this ship is actually posted on the workshop, and it is the most looked at / downloaded ship I have posted. The A model that I had only got about 15 views and 7 downloads. This one has almost 300 views and almost 200 downloads. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm glad people like it, because I like this design too. So, yeah. Oh, and so I did modify the longbow from last time you guys saw it. It has 4 rocket launchers now. In fact, I literally just did that. I was looking at it thinking, ooh, I can add more rocket launchers to it, and I like that. I still need to update how they're controlled, but this is battery powered and designed to launch from like a ship for once multiplayer code is working. Unload all its weaponry as fast as possible and return to base. And originally it had its Gatling cannons under here, which were capable of shooting the ship. So with that being the case, I just put 2 here instead, which I kind of like them being recessed. I think I will move them up 1 block, but that's about it. And then just leave them there, which, I mean, they could still theoretically hit in this area, but the guns really aren't the main part of this fighter. The guns are simply defensive. The rockets are what it's supposed to use. And it's supposed to fly to a target, unload its munitions as quick as possible, and then return back. That's the whole idea behind it. So, yeah. So, that's pretty much what I've been working on. And like I said, I'll have a new shipyard up and running very, very soon. And hopefully I can get a new series working. Like I said, it wouldn't be as consistent as the NID episodes or my shipyard episodes, but it's something else I would like to do, kind of get in the mix. Something that would be a lot more fresh and not, I don't know, all of my episodes seem to be the same. That's one of the reasons why I really liked having DHR Mike in the last episode. It was nice having somebody else there, you know, not just me talking to myself for half an hour and everybody listening to Nordic. Yeah, listen to crazy old man Nordic going on his rants. So, anyways, guys, if you like the series, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the episode, hit the like button. I'll see you guys next time.